me close and hold me fast. This magic spell you cast. This is lovey and whoa. Oh, good. Oh, I didn't think you'd actually come. I know we had a meetup, but you didn't have to come in this rain. I mean, oh my God. Oh, you poor dear. You look like a squirrel's gone through a tumble dryer. Oh, come here. Oh dear. Okay, let's go to the book nook and dry off. Here, I'll take my tail around your back. Oh, don't worry. I mean, if I get wet, it's not like I smell much different, right? Oh, right. No self-depreciating jokes. Sorry. By the way, come. I'll make you some tea. Yes, come on. I do appreciate you coming. Admittedly, rain kinda bums me out a little bit. I know a lot of people, especially artistic folks, tend to like rain, then they get all poetic about it. But I don't know, when it rains for a really long time, I just kind of start to feel boxed in. Like the world has a ceiling of sorts. It's not really my vibe, to be honest. Vibe, there I am, trying to use slang again. But, either way, I am glad you came. And thank you for braving the rain on my account. Now, you just sit here, and I'll start the tea. All right. What kind of tea are you feeling like today? I've got a new chai in. It's new for the fall season. It's got a little bit of pumpkin spice, but not so much where it's obnoxious. It's absolutely lovely with milk. I'm not going to lie. I love it with milk. Okay, that sounds good. Again, you can let me know if it's not your thing. I can make something else. We can get you some juice. I have hot chocolate. Tea's fine. Okay, if you're sure tea's fine, I'll make you some tea. So, how have you been? Oh, rain not really your thing either? Are you just saying that to make me feel better? Oh, no worries. I'm always kind of tempted to, wait, now, what? Oh, I'm sorry, it's one of those weird bookshop-y sort of things, that I kind of worry will weird you out if I show it to you. But you haven't run off yet, so maybe I'm being overworried. You know what? It'll be a good way to spend the day, I think. I think I should give you a proper tour of the bookstore. Yes, that sounds absolutely lovely. Okay, we'll finish tea first. I just gotta wait for the tea kettle to boil, and then, we'll have our tour. Yes, a tour. Now, before we do this tour, I suppose I should preface it with a few things. Main thing, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of, what with, the St. Hands, which are currently, getting teacups from the cupboard. The bookstore is magic. And that means I'm a little magic, which explains all the transformation things and the hypnosis things. But you're probably wondering how I came by this bookstore. Well, to be honest, I didn't mean to. I moved to this town, and I heard there was an apartment for rent above the bookstore. But when I walked through the door, a massive shadow just booked it past me, and I was holding the deed, and I haven't questioned it since. So that's how I got it, and discovering the ins and outs since then has been quite the challenge. Post-buying? Being gifted? I don't know. I went down to the county clerk's office and I kind of tried to figure out who owned this place before me. Apparently it's kind of just been a string of random people. One guy was from Azerbaijan. He was a goat fellow. He was a goat fellow most of the time. Absolutely lovely guy. Apparently a very snappy dresser, but same thing happened to him. Well, I guess maybe someday I'll be a giant shadow giving the bookstore to someone else. I don't like to think about that. It's a bit existentially terrifying. But I'm getting off track. Main thing is, this bookstore, as you know, I think Hydrox might have introduced you to this little factoid. The bookstore is bigger on the inside, but that's not the only thing. Tea's ready. Okay. Just pour you up a cup. And there we go. All right. Moving onwards. I would like to show you the true depths of this store. We'll start out normal, and then we'll kind of shift to the more magical shenanigans, chicanery sorts of things. And we'll go from there. All right. Stand up, you can bring your tea, it's fine. I've got my scent hands on guard, so if you drop it, they'll catch it. Can't ban scent, can you? Oh. my sense look a little bit gross at that. I'm not quite sure how much control I have over them as opposed to how much control they have over them. But, again, that's another topic. Onwards. So, we got the basic bookstore. You got your oils going far in every direction. You got your fantasy, got your science fiction, and the children's section. Oh, I can't wait to decorate this for Halloween. I got one of those giant skeletons from the home store down the road. I hope it doesn't frighten the children too much. Anyway, have you got any favourite children's books? I've always been kind of partial to slightly creepy sorts of books. Like, I was big on the Gooseflesh series. The Haunted Manor, the Mask of Terror, those sorts of things. I was really big into horror for a little while, but then, as a book clerk, you kind of encounter some cosmic horrors, and after that, it kind of deadens your taste for it. Just a touch. But, I think children's literature is really important, because, you don't start a love of reading early. It's really hard to get one. And, the older you get without developing one, the more kind of worried you get about your place in the world, and the more worried you get about your own intelligence. And I think that people who don't develop a love of reading early, they're not dumb. They just didn't encounter the right books at the right time. So, as a book clerk, I think it's important that I play a role in really giving people the books that they need in the times that they need. And I've always thought that was important. Because, the right adventure at the right time can really change a life. And I think that's so important. It's why I respect teachers so much and other people. So, if you don't have a favourite children's book, that's fine. But I think people really shouldn't be afraid to revisit children's literature if they didn't grasp onto reading as a younger person. Because it's not their fault. And I'm getting on a soapbox, aren't I? I tend to do that. Yeah, I should just carry around a soapbox. Just a big old soapbox that I can just climb onto at any time. 95% of my soapbox moments are book-related. Most of them are Discworld related. Have you read God's Gods, by the way? I really like that book. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Did you like it? Oh, don't tell me if you like it until you finish it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but I really like that series, and it's great. Oh, that reminds me, I should really show you the fantasy section. Oh, I'm getting excited now. Okay, so, moving forward. Fantasy section. The fantasy section is really interesting, because on Wednesdays, sometimes stuff crawls out to the books. I'm not sure how it works. Maybe Wednesdays are wacky or something like that. But, gotta be careful around here. There's a dragon sculpture up in the rafters there. Or at least I think it's a sculpture. Or a statue. Kinda hope it's not just sleeping. I mean, it looks like it's sleeping, but is it made to look like it's sleeping, or was it actually sleeping? I haven't actually gotten a ladder to check. Anyway, a lot of wonderful books can be found here, like, your Lord of the Rings, your Chronicles of Narnia, and all those sorts of things. And science fiction is right next to this. I don't tend to wander into science fiction too much, because time gets weird if you go into science fiction. I remember one time, I stepped into science fiction in the morning, and I stepped out in the morning, the previous morning, and there was a whole thing, and my life is so weird. I'm sorry. Okay, back to normal sorts of things. Going further down, you've got your non-fiction and your biographies, and I find a lot of fiction readers tend to kind of talk down to non-fiction, but I think non-fiction definitely has its place. Reading is where learning starts. Anyone who makes those little video series or anything else has to start with a book. And books are where our histories are. That's why one of my favourite genres is biographies, because you can read a life that's not your own. You can step into someone else's shoes. And it's one of the few things that can really do that in a way that I don't think movies or anything else can. Maybe a podcast can. I do like podcasts. Have you listened to the Anthropocene Reviewed? I quite like the Anthropocene Reviewed. Great podcast. It's by a guy named John Gwinnett. He's a Gwinnett, and his name is John. It's great. But again, I'm getting off track. If you want any recommendations, Neil Gaiman's series, View from the Cheap Seats. Absolutely lovely biography, that is. He wrote Stardust, Neverwhere. He helped write Good Omens, which is one of my favourite series of all time. People tell me I remind them of Aziraphale, and I find that to be an absolute compliment. But once again, I'm getting off track. I'm boring you. Okay, we've done the normal stuff. Let's get to the not normal stuff. Alright, so, in some ways that this bookshop is bigger on the inside, but I don't think you've quite grasped exactly what that means. Just keep walking with me, follow me down this corridor, We're going to turn and go down some stairs. It's fine. I know the shop doesn't technically have another floor beyond the basement, but that doesn't really matter when you're dealing with magic. We're going to step down these stairs. Here we go. Here, have a torch. Don't ask how long we've been lit. I don't think they ever go out, which is why you probably shouldn't drop it. But we're going to go down, down, down. While we walk, to explain exactly how all of this works, magic is like science with opinions. It's like a discipline that can say no to you and have thoughts of its own. And depending on what school of magic you're trying to go into, what it will and won't do for you is very different, and what it will and won't take is very different as well. And what we've got here in a bookstore is every kind of magic you can imagine, packed into one small space. And time doesn't know what to do with it, space doesn't know what to do with it, nothing knows what to do with it. So inside of the bookstore is weird and strange and magic, and it's great. I know I kind of complain about it, but I kind of love it, that unpredictability of it. I think it kind of is analogous to the world, it's analogous to life. You never know what you're going to find when you turn a corner. You never know where you're going to be a week from now, and you never know who you're going to be a year from now. And that's kind of my life, because I'm not always a skunk. Sometimes I'm a Pikachu, sometimes I'm a bat, sometimes I'm a weird panther thing. I've been a chimera a couple of times, which is why I think I'm letting you in, because I've never really let anybody in since becoming the head of this bookstore, because I don't want them to know how strange my life is. But if you come in and I'm something else, or I'm acting differently, I want you to know it's still me. We're all a bunch of different people, but I am that very literally, and I just want you to know why that is and how that is. So if you discover it on your own, you have, a basis to go off of, and that you won't be scared of it or of me. I know it's not very likely, but anyway, we're reaching the bottom of the stairs. Okay, so I discovered this a couple of months ago, and I tend to come down here when it's raining, because like I said, rain kind of depresses me. I've never brought anyone else down here, but I'm bringing you, and I hope you like it. So, let's go. Here we are. It's a meadow underneath the bookstore. I know, right? It's sunny here, it's not sunny there. It's probably midday here. It seems like it's about 3 o'clock out there. Again, time and space is weird, but I really like this meadow. It's got a lot of glens. There's a lake we could swim in, if you like. I didn't bring my swim trunks, but you probably didn't either. I mean, who walks around with their swim trunks? But anyway, it's just, if the rain depresses you, I want to be able to give you sunshine and sunlight and those sorts of things. And I want to be able to have a picnic with you, no matter what time of year it is or what else is going on in the world. I want to be an escape of sorts, because I like you a lot. And you've been that for me in some regards, because I've always been worried that people are going to judge me, people are going to be afraid of me, or people are going to call the FBI. That last one is still a bit of a concern, but not from you, just from that random customer. I don't trust Glinda. She's a lovely chinchilla woman most of the time, but she's such a gossip. And off track again, but either way. We have tea, or you have tea. I didn't make myself a cup of tea before I came down here, because I thought, we'll go down here and have tea together. But then I didn't grab a cup of tea, and you want to go back up and get me a cup of tea? Oh, well, that sounds lovely. I've got some sandwich things in the fridge. We can make sandwiches. Oh my god, do you want to have a picnic? Oh, okay. We'll have a picnic. I've never had a picnic with anyone. I'm sorry, my family didn't really like picnicking, but I always thought it was darling. Oh, goodness. Okay, we're having a picnic. A picnic sounds absolutely wonderful. Okay, I've got some scones. I made some bread yesterday. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm sorry. Thank you for not judging me and listening to my ramblings and my little soapbox habits. I appreciate it. And, if there's ever anything that weirds you out, do tell me. Feel free to talk to me about anything. But thank you so much for letting me take you on this little tour. And, I just realized I have a bunch of different flavors of jam. This is going to be fun. Let's go.